sure you're right. Good.
Yeah, no, but that's okay, close it.
Okay. All right, welcome everyone to the Monday, August, I can't see the sheet without my glasses, 28th, regular meeting of municipal council. The next order or the next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I believe Deputy Mayor has that.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Ward. This council approves the agenda as presented.
Deputy Mayor, any changes to the agenda? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of the agenda as presented? Number 3 is disclosure of pecuniary interest or conflict of interest in the general nature thereof. Does anyone have any disclosures to make? Hearing none, we'll move on to delegations and presentations, and we have the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville Economic Development Services and Supports, and Weir, the Economic Development Manager, with us. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And this is just a great opportunity. Thank you for the new people that I've just been great meeting you. It's an opportunity this evening just to share a little bit what the county's economic development does. You are one of 10 municipalities that we support, and we have 6 strategic areas of focus, and so these are the 6 areas of strategic focus that you have. These were approved by county council. They were approved in January of 2020. This was just before the pandemic that started in March. So some of these items have been adjusted, some are done, and some are still in progress. Well, there's much I'd love to share with you tonight. I'm sure you want to have a quick meeting, so we will just highlight the top ones. If you have questions and there's time, please let me know. The first item is leadership capacity and leadership and capacity building. I know some of you have been to our economic development summit that we host annually. This is designed for municipal leaders and business to come together. It's an opportunity for expertise in economic scenarios that can be shared throughout the region, as well as best practices and opportunities to explore collaboration. In 2022, we had 175. We're anticipating excelling in 2023. It is our 15th anniversary. Salad is around 220, and that's when we normally have where we've been in previous prior to the pandemic. So hold your date, the calendar for Friday, November 17th. It's an all-day event held in Kimball, and we hope that all of you can join. Expo there is about 2019, we conducted a BRE survey that led to our leadership team that evolved into our business support working group. And this group was carried out during the pandemic. It was very effective in sharing information. Your representative on there was Wendy Van Gogh. At times during the pandemic, we were meeting weekly. And now that kind of extended out, and this group is beginning to further evolve. And I'll be calling a meeting shortly for that group. It consists of 14 municipalities in the region, 6 chambers of commerce, 2 small business centers, 3 VIAs, 3 CFTCs. Yes, that's all within Leeds Grenville. So a lot of groups coming together. There's 50 individuals that we bring, and we've done it all through Zoom. County continues to maintain a very large network. This year, we've already had ministry meetings with both economic development, tourism, and also met with some of our neighboring municipalities of Smith Falls, Kingston, Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry, and many different agencies, just to make sure we're working perhaps in collaborative opportunities that we can explore. Building capacity is basically what I'm doing here today. It's just making sure everyone's up to speed on what we're doing, and then with your staff, I explore commonalities in the way of how we work together and as a region. Under investment, readiness and attraction, our focus is on business and industry. We support member municipalities with their investment readiness, and we've done that for you. I'll talk a little bit about areas we want to know from each municipality are your priority properties. And I do have a good sense of some of those here for business and industry, both large and small. And I'll cover that more with your staff in meetings as we go forward. Each municipality, we do maintain a web presence on our county's economic development site. There's 18 languages on our website that has an investment profile. We're going to be updating that information. It's outdated right now, so we're going to be taking a focus on that. What we have found, we don't use 18 languages, probably 6 is where we're going to take it down to. So we'll be updating that shortly, and that's on our best website page. While investment opportunities are important to us, we do focus on the industrial and business properties, the industry parks. So all business is important to us. We work with site selectors, various ministries. We've hosted fan tours and assisted with site selection, negotiation, and business aftercare. We continue to initiate new foreign and domestic investments. We are a member of the Ontario East Economic Development Commission. We pay additional marketing fee for that. And we basically make sure that we've got Edwardsburg, Cardinal, and all of our 10 member municipalities first and foremost when we're doing those marketing endeavors. What that allowed us to do is some trade shows, such as Restaurant Canada that happened in May, and Restaurant Canada in April, Cial was in May. Both of these are wholesale food trade shows. And this gets an opportunity for our local businesses to be able to go to these trade shows, only covering their cost of travel and accommodation. They don't pay for the booth, that's part of our membership fee. This year we had Windmill Brewery from Edwardsburg Cardinal that actually came and joined us at that wholesale trade show. Through the pandemic, business retention was absolutely paramount. On a regular basis, we're doing 2 to 3 business visits per month. Usually right now we're more 4 to 8 businesses per month because we've been heavily out there. Information sessions, we do have a web page that we post all information for businesses when it comes to workshops and seminars that are going on in the region. Our e-newsletter is a snapshot of what's going on within the next period of time. Many partners host workshops, so we actually don't host many of them. We don't want to duplicate what others are doing. And but if there's a gap, we're happy to jump in. An example would be the EV market charging, your charging and business and how that can happen. So we had 401 Electric come in and do a session on as a business, what does this mean to you and what should you be considering in the future? None of these 3 items were on our strategy when we started in 2020, but now, voila, they're in there. And there was funding opportunities, and we didn't want to miss that to support our local businesses, and basically to look at a more effective business delivery on how we can support business. So I'm going to touch on quickly each of these. Business survey, we've done them for the past 3 years, and we're probably going to do it again this year. This is our primary source of data that we look at from business feedback. It's critical to understand which businesses need help and get a sense of areas of common concern and commonalities and how we're doing as a region. The survey that went out to businesses comes from our business directory. That's the data from there. We send it out to anyone that has an email address. We had about at that period in time 4,257 businesses, which represents about an 8% response, which overall for a survey is pretty good. Some municipalities said our sample size was too small, but so for example, Edwardsburg Cardinal, at the time you had 174 businesses in that directory. So when you do the calculation on, that's about a 10% response, which again is pretty good for surveys when it comes to that. I anticipate, as I mentioned, we're going to continue to do that, but I want to bring the working group together to have a conversation on that further. If you attended the summit, we did a featured session on digital services. This is new funds that came in during the pandemic. counties made sure that every municipality got positioned to take advantage of these funds. So as a region, we facilitated creating 5 different digital service spots. Counties had one that looked at the grouping of municipalities. North Grenville had one. South Grenville, which you were a part of, had one. Lisa and the Thousand Islands, Gananoque had one, and Rock. This then meant that we maximized the amount that could come into this region, based on the population and number of businesses. And we were very effective in getting a good sum of money for that. We continue to lead in bringing these groups together. We're going to probably be sending out just a survey to those who have participated in the Native Future to get a sense of how pleased have they been with the program, or where we can improve. In total, we've estimated, and this is from the end of May, and you're going to get an update on this, we have 1,400 businesses that have been assisted in the region, which is pretty good when you're considering 4,800 that we keep track of. Receiving the grants, we've had 240 businesses. That $2,500 grant was totaled at $600,000. Overall, the program has had a $1.17 million impact on our local and small businesses, which is phenomenal. Now, this contract is coming due March 31, 2024. So we're taking a look at, as a region, what does this mean if the fund doesn't get renewed, and how can we look at working together? Just a couple of notes. We're talking with business. Digital transformation grant is set to expire September 30th. And so we don't want businesses to wait till the last minute. Please encourage them to apply and get in touch with their digital support person that can do that. We try to do different ways of outreach, whether it's been through video testimonials, whether it's been direct email. So we're really encouraging that individuals take advantage of. The other funds that these people have been working with businesses on is the Canadian Digital Adoption Program, and that's again additional dollars that are available that we want businesses to take advantage of. Under small business, counties agreed to take on the Leeds Grenville Small Business Center contract that was managed by the City of Brockville. And this is with the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. This involved bringing city staff over to the counties. We have completed first year of the contract on budget. The program has 3 core elements, one being business consultation. So any business can come and meet with our staff. Summer company program, which is just wrapped up, and starter company plus program. And this is an opportunity in both summer and starter for businesses to get grants, and we can share more details on that should you wish. Amongst all these staff changes, these changes staff doing a great job of looking at maintaining small business programs and initiatives. We are now taking a look at, because their contract wraps up in March 31, 2024. So we're looking at is there any tweaking in the program that we want to do, and where we go from here. But we're seeing great efficiency from supporting businesses in great industrial counties. Our fourth strategic area is council traction and workforce development. We've been really successful in narrowing the gap. There's a significant gap between employers and educators, and we've been very successful in narrowing that gap. Some of you know that Canopy Growth in Smith Falls had a significant workforce resizing in February. Counties became a partner in developing a regional job fair that was on March 22nd. And was available to all businesses in Leeds Grenville. Some of those included that attended was Burngray, Vista, John Tiger Warehouse, and Northern Gables. So this is a great opportunity for basically not to make sure our displaced workers are leaving our community and finding jobs here. On June 20th, we partnered with St. Lawrence College and the Canadian Apprenticeship Reform to host an employer resource breakfast. Again, in Leeds Grenville, we made sure all businesses invited, but some of the ones that you'll know, Prisium, Ingredion, HFI Pyrotechnics, all attended that opportunity in the way of how we work better with the apprenticeship program and potential funding there. In our e-newsletter, we provide promotion on the 3 employment agencies in our approved each municipality that you make sure you promote those, because that's where some of the job boards are for our employers. and for individuals seeking, work and they find work. And, we encourage that to, they're a big part for us. Other areas that fall under, talent attraction and workforce development. We are a member of the St. Lawrence Rideau Immigration Partnership. We're continuing to work and find ways to collaborate in that partnership. The panel, we have a summit panel that focused on diversifying your workforce. There's many different ways on how employers are doing and seeking other best practices. We have participated in a session working in with the Ottawa group to extend that Ottawa immigration population into Leeds Grenville. How do we draw those individuals in that are seeking work? We are continuing to seek other opportunities in how we can bring job seekers to the region as well. Under marketing and communications is another area of focus for economic development. We made two websites, Invest Leeds Grenville and Discover Leeds Grenville. That will be transitional. I'll talk on that in a sec. We have produced various videos depending on the need, and we continue adding photography. County's economic development did spend a considerable amount of time coordinating video for the provincial job site challenge. Several different videos were developed for that. We also continue to maintain a YouTube channel for each municipality that has a playlist with videos that are from each municipality and the businesses. We have a marketing partnership with the Ottawa Business Journal. Previous content that has been included some of your largest assets, the Bridge Industrial Park features. This included Port Johnstown, Global, Brisbane, to name a few. So we make sure that they've got highlighted both the promotion and editorial. This year we are focusing on entrepreneurship and utilizing some of the content and video that we already have developed. Counties, as you know, played a big part in the IPM Regional Showcase that Edwardsburg Cardinal is a part of, along with the Port and Region, were part of that showcase as well. Our main communication tool is our e-newsletter. It goes out every 2 weeks and features a business in each edition, plus any new funding programs and training. It is very business focused. If you're not receiving this, I put the URL at the top there. Please make sure you're subscribing to it. It's a great way to be able to be in the loop of what's going on in the region for business. Many times we'll also get asked for additional content from business piece. So we use some of the content from our e-newsletter and share that to other individuals. So it even goes further on the reach. We have about 2,500 subscribers to that. Business Director, I've made reference a couple of times here. This is our main data and it goes into your website as well as ours. One point of entry for the business to update the information, and it not only goes into yours and mine, but it also gets circulated in a stream through to all the directories on a live basis. Our last area of focus is diversified economy. We're really fortunate in this region to have that diversified economy. So one sector struggles, then another can support us. On the slide there, we have our top 4 sectors that we look into or have in this region. We continue to monitor other sectors that might be a good fit for our region. One of the things that we have been really heavily focused on is being responsive to our local economy. I've referenced that. And I just want to talk on the last bullet here, developing strategies and opportunities. During the pandemic, we took a look at who's suffering the most. And certainly tourism and hospitality was the area that was suffering the most. So we did a strategy in 2022 on that. The link is there if you wish to have a good read of it. This has been, this is found on our Invest website. The 2 key areas of products, the areas that we've moved forward with approval of council is the brand as well as the product development. Counties have formally adopted the new tourism visual identity of Thousand Islands and Rideau Canal waterway for tourism. We are fortunate in this region to have iconic brands, so bringing them together only made sense. On June 12th, we launched our rebranded Garden Adventures for the Thousand Islands Rideau Canal waterway region. This has 13 gardens participating in 8 different municipalities. Edwardsburg Cardinal is one of those. Under new product development experience, we focused on what the consultant's recommendation was for culinary experience. It's a top visitor attractor. So the 2 consulting experiences, first one being Fresh Baked, which was launched on June 21st. This includes a total of 18 businesses, and it includes both bakeries and local cafes that are producing locally produced product. And it includes 10 different municipalities, and Edwardsburg Cardinal is included in that. Foodie Shop Adventures is launched on July 12th, and this includes 12 businesses from 8 different municipalities. And all of these are being marketed on Thousand Ounce Radio Canal Waterways Facebook page and our website, It's in Transition. In total, we had 42 different sites being promoted in all 13 municipalities. It was a great regional opportunity for destination development and how we can bring direct revenues to some of those businesses. And we're celebrating that moment, but we're quite humbling the way of what we've done in the future. So the future, where do we go from here? In the plan, it was done under 3 areas that you see listed here on the slide. We are going to continue to crawl before walk and run. And so we're developing the leadership committee with that. And I've already met with Rockville, Prescott, again, and Knockaway to make sure that we're looking at how we collaborate. We're not here to duplicate things. We simply want to make sure that we leverage as much opportunity. And those adventures was a great example of that, because businesses that would not normally work together are working together and buying each other's products, which is kind of neat to see. We're also going to be developing some regional stakeholder communications. We have leveraged some dollars. We did receive the Canada Summer Jobs funding. We did not get the red money this time around, but we've got some feedback, so we'll be reapplying for that and looking for a letter of support from the municipality for that. But we may also go after some other funds that have just come open too, because why wouldn't we? It's an opportunity. And the last point here I want to talk about is crossover between tourism and the food and agriculture sector. And we touched on a little bit about how the IPM brought all the different food products together in the region. And what I want to see is ultimately deepen the roots in the way of those companies and how do we grow those companies. And the first step is hosting a workshop or a workshop series in combination with ONAFRA to see how we can get those products growing that we've got locally already established and developing a stronger business around them. And part of that is that next step, we're going to look at a local wholesale food trade show where business to business, so restaurant to provider, can start to know each other and figure out how they can order from each other. And that will hopefully get more at the international, domestic, and international markets for businesses to start exporting, because that's the true opportunity, is that we further export our products outside. So this is all, we're working on some funding pieces and to get that all on the way. Hopefully that gives you a quick insight review. I know it's fast, I'm glad you can keep up, and certainly if you feel there's questions on that things.
There's absolutely a year's worth of information there, and that's fantastic.
I like
I'm not sure you took a breath. I'm not sure you took a breath the whole 20 minutes, so that was fantastic. Thank you for that presentation. Does anyone have questions for the economic development? Yeah, go ahead.
I just have one question, because I do have it.
Yeah.
Do you have an office building or something, like you were saying, people came to see, isn't it? Like,
We're located, beside my cars. We're located at 32 Wall Street in Rockville. It's in the county's old county's building. We're up on the 3rd floor. Many of my staff, including myself, will be on the road. We're probably 50% on the road. Times going there. Some of my staff are actually more out of the road. So never hesitate in the way if you've got a business, we will come to them. But if they feel that they would like to come to an office environment, we're happy to accommodate that too. And sometimes we've even been known to ask for you to share some of your facilities to help with that too.
okay.
And
Have a great presentation.
Thank you for assuming we jumped up.
Right. Go ahead, Chris.
It was a lot to unpack. You know, and I mean, I don't know which are the two areas to start with, but I think, you know, one of the things I think we know our businesses around here struggle with is finding labor resources. Yeah, and you know, I like that you touched on the idea of employee immigration, and I'm assuming that means people moving to the area, not just commuting into the area, or maybe it's a combination of that. Are you working with a lot of people who are trying to take advantage of the remote and hybrid opportunities as well? Or what's that looking like from our region's perspective? I
Yeah,
guess?
so you're bang on. We do have a mix of people that want to locate, but some of your businesses, do have people, that are commuting in. So, some of your engineers at some of your facilities are commuting in and willing to do that commute. Or there's a midway point from the family to how far they'll go either way sort of thing. The remote, we do have some. It is, you know, where I've seen it the most is in Maricopa Wolford, where we see that professional consultants are consulting in Ottawa and commuting in and out, when on a once a week kind of thing. So we are seeing that still. The trend seems to be swinging back to the office environment again.
No, that's I mean, I think, you know, I still work from home. I think that's probably the same. And, you know, go to the office once a week, basically, something like that.
Yeah.
And I guess the other question that I had, you know, you talked a lot about the various economic development opportunities. What are businesses talking about? What do you think the largest barriers are in economic development around the area?
We touched on the one already, workforce, right? We have a very high percentage of small business in this area. And the operating costs, when we did the survey last year, operating costs and inflation were two of the key areas that their overhead costs were going up. We're hoping that supply chain was a factor to many. So we're hoping that's starting to level out, but I'll know more as we get this other business survey back. So we're seeing less of that, but we still see the inflation factor coming in. Some investment pieces is people are juggling the pieces right now with the increased interest rates. And that's been a factor for some as well. They're holding off until they see where the interest is going right now.
Thank you very much. That's great. Good presentation. Lots of details, like you said, and crammed it into a very minute 20 minutes. Don't think that.
Deputy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks again, Ann. Well done. I just have a couple. We had a major bass tournament on the weekend, 52 boats and professionals. And it costs us a few dollars to put it on, and we probably want to go above that next year. Is there any grants through the you know, under you guys, economic development, to help us through this, if money wise, to help these people who put it on, like big fuel bass tournaments, for instance?
We tend to be a facilitator of where money comes from. So the e-newsletter, even though there may be a not-for-profit, would be the place to look at what funding envelopes come open. Because some of the not-for-profits, there are funding specifically for that. So that would be one key area to make sure to get connection. There is with Ministry of Tourism, there's annual funds at different levels that they can access as well. Those are some of the key ones that come off my head right away. The other piece that is available to is marketing and promotion. In the way of some things can be done free of charge.
Right.
In the way of we're just getting going on our social media for tourism, but we'll be taking a look at how to expand that out. So sometimes you can spend less somewhere by taking advantage of some of the free pieces that are open. We're a big partner with RTO9, which is the Regional Tourism Organization number 9, Southeastern Ontario. They have a huge amount of followers. And also they have some dollars that potentially come open in partnership dollars. Usually it might be one or two organizations working together. For those, that's another avenue where they would find dollars.
Right. Thank you. I have one more question, Mr. Mayor, if I could. And right now, and this is where you people can really help us, I think anyways, because in our township, we have two main issues in the industrial and commercial companies, and that is natural gas and hydro. We need help, and both are with the Ontario Energy Board. They're both under the Ontario Energy Board, hydro and natural gas. And we're going through where we need some, you know, a bigger gas line in the Port of Johnstown, because we just received a $2 million grant from the federal government to move on to put in a new dryer. So this is where we need all the support we can, and you know, and I'm hoping that maybe you can do something for us on that, because that is a big issue with us. Hydro and natural gas in our area, in our township right now.
You're not alone, and this is
Yeah.
why I want to talk for all of this.
No, I know, but
And that's something that, actually, I just had two investment pieces that I've gone through, and it's all hydro related. And, I don't think we're gonna land because of it. So that's something that I think as each municipality would probably need to have a session, to have that conversation of, you know, where the lines are right now, similar to with, natural gas. What do we need, and not just due to the municipality aspect, but because you're all along the line, and how do we work together on that? And we did do some work with, when you were talking about the industrial park. Greenfield Global at the time, I think who else was that, but there was a grouping of businesses that came together, and hydro, we basically had to ask them to heavily to pay attention to us. And the importance of that, because they as individual companies were being challenged, because their sister companies down in the States were being more efficient.
Right.
And so when their lines go down, that was causing a problem. So I think we need to take a similar approach and do it and have a further conversation on that. That's good. I'd be interested in that.
thank you.
Yeah, we certainly saw when we were, pursuing, with, United Counties Help and all the other municipalities, the job site challenge. The critical infrastructure in hydro and gas were issues with our application. They continue to be issues now, not only for us, but for our neighbors. And, we're a couple of years down the road from that now. The Premier has spoken to wanting to attract these companies. They're here, they're trying to locate here, make it clear they want to spend billions of dollars to locate here, but we're not able to provide them with adequate hydro, and that, the thought of losing those opportunities for this area that could change our area is really difficult. So that was one of my questions, is what are we doing to lobby on behalf of that? But that was already done. I just have a couple as well, Anne, if you've got a minute or two. So one is really simple. Do you have a keynote speaker for November 17th?
Maybe.
You're not gonna say it then, okay. All right.
Okay.
fair enough.
So maybe full confirmation.
I enjoyed Pierre last year. I thought Mr. Fleury was fantastic. I still often reference a lot of things he said, so that was good. The digital grant is expiring September 30th. Is there an expectation of renewal or another round?
It's not, so there's how do they put it? There is a process to get the money. There's 2,200 opportunities still left. There's 3,700 businesses in process. So to whether those 3,700 actually finalize their submission, we don't know. So if they do, then no. If they don't, then I anticipate there'll be a small extension, but I wouldn't say it's going to last long. We haven't had any additional dollar renewal at this point.
Okay, and my last one's a big one, and it's a concern for I know myself, and I know the deputy mayor, and a lesser extent probably to the newer members of council that aren't probably as familiar with the economic development corridor. My concern is always overlap. So can you speak to, you know, how you avoid overlap with the group, so that we know that both agencies are equally important?
Right. It's, you know, my mandate is set by county's council, and there is some overlap at times. There's no two ways about it. We are working to try and communicate. There is some confidentiality aspects, when we're signing the NDAs. So we are trying to work through some of that to make sure that we're both on the same page. We're working together on one client, two clients right now. Where we kind of been bouncing off is just for different reasons. One has to step in for the other. So it's an area that we're going to continue to work to improve. But there are, you know, each of you have your different mandates, similar in some ways, but they're not the same players at the table always.
Right. Yeah, no, that's good. I think the work that you do is good. I especially love, you know, the willingness to collaborate and the work that you guys do with tourism too. It's, you know, the foodie thing is well received, and you know, I hear everybody at County's Council talking about, you know, how great those events are when you put them on. So awesome. If there are no further questions, does staff have any while Anne's here? No, just thought I'd throw it out there. No, we're good. Awesome. Thanks, Ann. I appreciate you coming today.
Thanks, Ann. Take care.
All right, so moving on then to consent agenda, which, so I need Candace for I have one question. So in the consent agenda, business arising from previous council meeting minutes is number 7. It's not included in consent agenda. So do I still?
Through the chair, yes, there's still an opportunity to bring up.
Okay, from the past council meeting, right? So if that's the case, do they need to pull A to discuss the minutes, or are we just approving the minutes? And then the discussion of those minutes is that, I always get confused on this one, and I think I ask for clarification every time.
Through the chair, the number 7 is discussion of council minutes.
Yep.
So we do that prior to the committee minutes. The discussion for the committee minutes has happened at the prior. And they have gone with another opportunity to review minutes and this is live and follow committee level as well.
Yeah, but we can still, so, no, my question is that we're going to consent agenda the minutes for under 6A, right? Because that's the council ones. And then we're gonna discuss them under 7.
So, through the mayor, what you did with the council minutes?
Approve of the minutes.
Is that there are no errors.
There is an omission.
Within those minutes, and then is it an item that arose from those minutes that can certainly be raised.
Yeah, it still it always confuses me with that, because I thought the whole idea of consent agenda was to not have discussion around them, but okay, good enough. So then items listed on our consent agenda are considered routine and no longer require a further discussion that are enacted in one motion. The exception to this rule is that any member may request that one or more items be pulled for discussion or voted on separately. So does anyone want to pull any of the minutes for further discussion? Hearing none, then Councillor Martel, then I believe you have consent agenda to bring forward.
I do, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Lonsdale. Excuse me, the municipal council receives and approves the following consent agenda items as presented. Regular council dated July 31st, 2023. Port Management Committee, July 24th, 2023. Committee of the Whole, Community Development, August 8th, 2023. Committee of the Whole, Administration and Operations, August 14th, 2023. The application for severance 161-163 Shanley Road, Annabelle Designs on behalf of Samard.
Thank you very much. So no discussion on these then. I will call the vote. All in favor of consent agenda, unanimous. Okay, so then moving on to number 7, correct? Okay, so does anyone have any business arising from the previous council meeting minutes?
None by me.
Okay, so seeing none, then we move on and I'll ask the deputy clerk just to be safe, but we are moving on to 9B, correct? Which is the resolution of support for the township of Elizabethtown, Kitley, Mapleview Landings. And I believe that Councilor Ward, you have that?
That would be this whole thing.
You do.
Okay. All right, moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh. The municipal council receives the township of Elizabethtown, Kitley's resolution number 193-23 and 194-23. And that the municipal council of the township of Edwardsburg Cardinal supports the township of Elizabethtown, Kitley and their request to the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville and Mapleview Lodge Board of Directors to develop a 5-year action plan to eliminate the annual municipal operating subsidy as expressed through resolution number 193-23. And the municipal council of the township of Edwardsburg Cardinal supports the township of Elizabethtown, Kitley in their decision to defer decision with respect to their financial contribution towards Mapleview Lands fundraising campaign, pending a response from the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville as expressed through resolution number 194-23. And furthermore, that the township of Edwardsburg Cardinal, that the council of the township of Edwardsburg Cardinal forward this resolution to the township of Elizabethtown, Kitley, the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville, and all lower and single tier municipalities within the Leeds and Grenville.
Okay, Councilor Ward, is there further discussion on the support for the Elizabethtown Kitley's resolution?
No, just a comment, just a great resolution.
Good.
Can't
Alright.
wait to see the discussion.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's fantastic. All right, so before we say that though, let's call the question. And all in favor? Unanimous support for that. Okay. And I, like the deputy mayor, can't wait to see this supported hopefully by all the municipalities of Leeds and Grenville to put that extra bit of pressure on making Mapleview Landings funding sustainable. Having said that, moving on to the next one, which is item C, which is Mapleview Landings funding, and that is Councilor Montana.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Juan Smale, that municipal council defer the July 10th, 2023 committee recommendation respecting the 22,500 municipal financial subsidy contribution to Mapleview Landings fundraising campaign until more information and feedback is received from the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville and Mapleview Lodge Board of Directors regarding Township of Elizabeth Kitley's council resolution number 193-23, calling for a 5-year action plan to eliminate the annual municipal operating subsidy.
Very much. Everyone understands what this is doing. Yes.
Yeah, I guess a question to the CEO, to the chair, I guess. Does this tie us like to, I know we sort of talked about a number of 22,500. I think we closed on that one. But once we get sort of resolution on these 193-23 and all the actions with herein, does that put us in a position where we have to support it? Because I think one of the things that I want to take a look at, hopefully in time for budget this year is, I think we're having more of these come out of the woodwork, for lack of a better way to say it. And I don't necessarily want to tie our hands to saying we're going to support this for sure without, at least setting a budget for all of these actions that we're talking about. So I don't know if that is a clear question, but
through the mayor, so that recommendation is made to the committee and not, it has to pass council. So. that would have needed council mind say in order for it committed to that.
Would you feel better if the number was removed and it just said municipal financial subsidy?
Well, no, I might, but I think the reality is to Steve's point, we didn't even pass it past, I know it felt to pass it by council at some point, but not hold at that point. If we didn't pass it, then the number's still negotiable anyways, but if we get it to, the council, I think is what the CEO was saying.
So,
Yes, I would say that there is no commitment at this stage that we need to,
doesn't lock us to 22.5, right? Okay. Yeah, good question. Yep. No, that's good. That's a good question. I appreciate that question. So, I'm certainly strongly supportive of making a financial contribution. I'm not sure what that end number would actually look like for me yet, but we haven't actually finalized that. I don't think, great. And seeing the 20, that was mine. I was like, let's just stroke the 22.5 and leave it as a funding.
I'm okay with that if we want to.
That's up to somebody else to make those suggestions, not me. So if there are no suggestions to change the motion as it's written, then it's been moved and seconded, correct? So and duly noted. So I think we're good. Okay, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Joe, did you have your hand up? Sorry.
I did.
I can't quite see over these glasses. Okay, so then we are on to D, tennis court lighting. Yep, and Councillor Smil, you have.
Yes, it is, thank you, your worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martel, that the municipal council approves the Johnstown tennis court lighting tender. It was for Rec 5/2023 to ACF Electrical in the amount of $49,992.99, plus a non-rebate HST of $878.12, plus an additional 10% contingency of $5,077.11, for a total of $55,848.22, as recommended by the Committee of the Whole, Administration and Operations.
Councillor Smil, so something that we debated or discussed at committee level. Unanimous at committee level. Does anyone have any further comments or anything to add before I call the question? Good. All right, then I'll call the question. All in favor? The lighting again. It's the best I could come up with, Chris. All right, so the request to tender township employee benefits, Councillor Martel, I believe you have that.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Walden Smale, that municipal council direct the treasurer to tender the employee benefits for the township and Port of Johnstown. And once the tender process is complete, staff shall report back to council with a formal recommendation as recommended by the Committee of the Whole, Administration and Operations.
And discussed again in committee. Any questions with sending this out to tender? Chris, you look like you have something.
No, I think it's a good idea with the tender, see what options we have, so.
Yep, agree. Deputy, nothing? No, a lot of head shaking. All in favor? Good, and then we are on to. Mary Street outlet expansion. And that's letter F, and that's Councillor Smale, I believe.
Thank you, your worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Joe Martel, that the municipal council, one, award Mary Street Outlet Extension Project, Everett Cardinal Public Works, MSO 2301, to Willis Kerr Contracting Limited in the amount of $71,551, excluding non-rebated HST with a 10% contingency of $7,155.10, to be used at the discretion of the Director of Operations, and two, award the contract administration, including permit estimates of fees to an upset limit of $17,375.52 to Greer Galloway Group, and 3, all costs be covered through the Johnstown Stormwater Project surplus.
Thank you, Counselor Smale. All right, discussion on this? Anyone?
We're happy to see this. I just can't wait until the 3 weeks are off.
Good. How many layers?
It's
So,
nice to see.
yeah,
Very, very happy. I have to. I can't, but I will maybe off
yeah.
camera. Give you a big kiss, Mr. CEO. Thank you. Well done. I sure appreciate it.
I'm not allowed,
Getting this done.
I'm not allowed to give,
I would prefer that.
I'm not allowed to give you advice. I'm not allowed to give you advice, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Thank you so much for that. It's well, as we all know, or a lot of us know, but I'm glad it's getting done. Thank you so much.
That discussion, if I remember correctly, I was sitting in the gallery with the council that was before the last council.
Well, this has
was
been going
trying
on
to-
since the 90s.
Trying to
Yes.
solve it even then.
Yeah,
So,
this is the 90s, so this is well done.
Well
Thank you.
done.
get in there.
This-
Did you-
Yeah, well, I guess I did actually. So this was the first time we're seeing this one, I believe, unless I missed a meeting. I don't recall, but so, I'm assuming that everything looks good. I was looking at some of the data, but, I get lost in some of this as I'm not an engineer, but, so we're not getting kind of all concerned about, impact to 2509. It looks like there's a ditch already there beside their house. It just looks like it's gonna be sending more water through there is what I got the impression of. Is that we've done that?
Through the mayor, we're not anticipating any adverse effects on either side of the property. This has been an ongoing item with respect to the open ditch. Most likely, getting back to the 90s, it was probably up until about 2017 before we were able to achieve an easement over both adjacent properties, so that we could actually perform any type of work at that location. The county did a partial extension, which we were hoping was going to satisfy all parties. In the end, this full extension should actually bring this item to a conclusion.
Close.
Thank you. Good. Anyone on this side? No? I got a question. Mine's the funnest for you. So surplus, right? We borrowed to pay. Correct? Like we borrowed. And then we paid an amount off. So how do we still end up with a surplus of 267?
So we were only borrowing a portion of those projects. Right, so it was like I believe it was close to a $3.5 million project. So that's what we're doing. So there was some money, some to utilize.
Okay, and so this will leave a considerable amount even once it's done. Will that go back towards the principal of what we borrowed, or where will that surplus go?
It would go back into the storm sewer district.
Into the reserve.
So the total project was 2.1 million, and we borrowed approximately 50% of those funds. The Johnstown project is also not finished yet, so this is the surplus as it stands today. Once we do get our final invoices in and hold that paid, we might not get that high of surplus, but any surplus funds from this project will go back to the storm sewer reserve for future.
There any more questions? I just got one.
Go ahead.
So are we all worried then that the 267 is gonna erode down to nothing and then we're gonna spend the 97 on top of that?
No, okay, all right, I'm gonna call it. question. So is there any further discussion? Nobody? Okay, then, all in favor? Good. All right. Bear with me for 1 second.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor, to the CEO on that before we go on.
Already voted.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
When is construction gonna start, Mr. CEO? Do we know?
Through the mayor, not sure, we will certainly, get the information in, we can go away and, we'll start with respect to that possible permit, and, certainly, I think the planning for that to be completed, maybe late October. I think it's the timeline.
Mid-October? Of starting?
No, hopefully having that project.
Completed? Oh, good, excellent, thank you.
I think
Thank
I'm just not sure what when it's happening.
Thank you, thank you,
In Waterford.
thank you.
Yeah.
I suspect it's very quickly. They're also attracted to do some drainage work in the township. Like put the corn being murdered, maybe corn.
I'm sorry, Gordon?
We're waiting, they're ready to for the corn to come off first before they deal with that one.
Okay,
Versus spring. So they won that contract spring. That was now. So they have. Room to. I understand you would have waited for it. So we have to destroy it.
yeah, good, thank you so much.
All right, so moving on then, we're on item number 10, I believe, which is correspondence, and I think that's you, Deputy Mayor.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and moved by myself and seconded by Council Ward. Municipality Council receives the correspondence listings with the following dates as previously circulated. August 2nd, 2023, August 9th, 2023, August 16th, 2023, and August 23, 2023.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on correspondence before I call the question? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. And disbursements, municipal disbursements, and Councillor Ward, I believe you have that item.
I know, moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh. The municipal council receives the payment of municipal invoices circulated and dated as follows. Report dated July 31st, 2023-147 for $178,687.06. Report dated July 31st, 2023-148 for $556,381.11. Report dated August 16th, 2023-161 for $1,072,649.22. Report dated August 24th, 2023-162 for $127,897.15. And report dated August 24th, 2023-163 for $222,848.62 for a total of $2,158,463.16.
Thank you.
Okay, and bills, any questions on invoices, disbursements on these dates? No, I'm saying none, might be the first, or might be the first in 5 years.
I did have one.
Oh, you're
I know, I just realized it. And I apologize if I have to send it, but I'm assuming that this this postage that we paid of $4,520 was the annual amount or something like that. It's not a monthly amount that I missed all the months.
That's the code, through the mayor, that's the postage you have to pass. Those are-
Oh, okay, gotcha. Spend money and break money in. Okay,
Okay, further questions on disbursements? You ruined it, Chris. Alright, all in favor? They're already paid anyways.
Some of them are, yeah.
This is just. Alright, so we are on to the bylaw portion. And. Just to, before we start this discussion, I just wanna ask the CAO a quick question before we get into bylaw. This is first, second and third, I believe is the intention to go through tonight. This policy's been in front of us for, several months. We were quite happy with that, I think at committee level when it went through. The only question is, when it's a policy change of magnitude like this, is it normal to do all three readings in one council meeting, or is a pause period for a month? No potential. I think I was just a little surprised to see all three readings at one go. I don't know that they're. It's only been in the public forum for a couple of weeks. I think I haven't heard a word about it from anyone, but just.
We were. With the exception of the procedural monologue, which has to only have first and second reading, and in third final reading has to be delayed a month. There's no other criteria that specifies that you couldn't potentially have all three readings in one meeting. It would naturally be subject to first and second being unanimous, in almost that option that feelings that we prefer to one for one.
So just procedurally for everyone around the table, then if first and second and third reading gives, if something doesn't pass first and second reading unanimously, then it puts a pause on anything for a full month until third reading.
It would return the following council for third.
Right, at which it could be fully debated if an issue was to arise or something of that nature.
Third and final reading would be, yes, it would be August option.
Okay, I think I've made my point. Whether it gets caught up or not, we'll find out. Okay, so we're going to the firefighter honorarium policy. Councillor Martel, I believe you have that item.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor White Smale, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to adopt an honorarium and reimbursement policy for the Edwardsburg Cardinal Volunteer Fire Department, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
All right, so discussion on first and second reading of the firefighter policy. Does anyone have a discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my major concerns with some of the previous drafts of this was we signed up to give a certain dollar figure, including training, just a little over $200,000, I believe it was, for the entire budget. And I was concerned about some of the previous options not being able to control and manage that for us, for the taxpayers, to make sure we didn't exceed that by vast amounts. So I think what we've gone back to here is a policy that keeps that number, so we can't exceed that. That's the number that we paid out. And then because of that, I also like the way that this proposal brings forth the, the more senior you become, the more training you continue to do. It rewards you more for that, and then you get a bigger share of that thing. So the honorarium. So I guess the changes that he's put forth in the last revision, I'm in favor of. So I just wanted to say that, and that's why I'm in favor of it, is because it controls what I think was the major aspect I was concerned about. So
I think I would say that I completely agree. Further comments on?
I completely agree because, the chief advises that we're going over the budget to be central, so I think we're pretty happy.
Yeah, the points are divided up off of the budget that is there, and go past that, which I think took one of our largest things in consideration. Right. Out of control budget. Further. No, so. Okay, I'm gonna call the question then. All in favor? So we can proceed to third reading.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Wallace Smale, that a bylaw to adopt an honorarium and reimbursement policy for the Edinburgh Cardinal Volunteer Fire Department be now read for a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2023-44.
All right, so third reading, further debate before we do a third reading. I don't sense that there's going to be any at all. Then I will call the question. All in favor? Unanimous, of course. We just want to, I know the chief's not here tonight, but the chief put in a considerable amount of work. It was at times a difficult discussion, and I appreciate the willingness to respect that difficult discussions have to happen, and if we can make sure that the chief understands I think on behalf of all council that we certainly value the members that serve our community highly. I believe in this year's budget, we more than doubled the honorarium amount in that budget as a show of support for that team, not just with words, but with dollars. So I'm happy to see the chief listen to what council wanted in a way to control that budget in further years. So you can relay our thank you to the chief. That would be okay. Wait, so we are on to, oh great, the CAO's administrative update. I'm going to put it on the floor first though, CAO, and then we'll discuss it, okay? Councillor Smell, can you bring that item forward?
I can, thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Joe Martel, that the municipal council receives the CAO's administrative report as presented.
All right, CAO, bring your report forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just going to highlight a few areas. Under page 1 of the report, the Housing Accelerator Fund. So we were able to get the submission done prior to the August 18th original timeline. We submitted on August 17th, and probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours after our submission, there was an email indicating an extension for small northern indigenous communities who have not already submitted. So I'm pleased with the aspect that council put forward the dollars to have that needs assessment completed, and recipients of health seeker, and we were able to communicate the fire and get that in on the original timeframe. So we'll await further word on that. Just wanted to note about the Affordable Housing Summit that's scheduled to take place in North Grenville on September 29th. There are members that are interested in attending. Please let us know, and we'll look to get you registered. So as of right now, the two keynote speakers are the Honorable Stephen Clark, Administrator Mr. Affairs and Housing, and Joe Gallivan, Director of Planning and Economic Development on communal water and sewage services, support of the principal. Staff appreciation lunch held on August 24th from noon to 1:30. The winner of the trivia contest it was highly and heavily contested, but in the end, the recreation department was able to be crowned the winner. So, great work, and I think there was a fun and good social time by who attended.
No, and it's fantastic that there's that staff appreciation lunch. I know I speak on behalf of council that we appreciate all of the staff, and we're very hopeful in years coming forward that maybe we'll get a ticket for a hot dog at one of those barbecues, so.
Noted, and we will keep that in.
Couldn't resist.
I anticipate, Mayor, you will probably touch on the HFI.
Yes.
So I will skip that portion. Just wanted to update you that SNC is sort of on the last stages of their tree assessment, and we should have that report hopefully by the end of the month, and sort of a draft of planting site plan for our review. Just under page 2, treasury, note the treasurer is looking to have sort of a pre-budget presentation at the October committee of the whole administration of operations. Facilities and recreation. So just a note, the Carter Field is now closed for this evening. Anticipate that Vincent Gould will start the retrofit project in early September and continue as long as it can by the committee. The Johnstown Pool will remain open this week by the committee, and it's not stopping. I guess just no Spencerville Fair, the meeting is ready for the fair weekend, and the parks and facilities extended every few more items for that fair weekend with the garbage pickup, and we'll do a sort of a full cleanup with a number of the departments. Weekend, Labor Day for this weekend. We've got the cleanup is in place. We've got extra garbage containers in and around the waterfront, and trying to finalize everything with the festival committee. Hopefully, see another successful weekend of activities. I anticipate, Mayor, you'll speak on the acceptable place structure. Report. With respect to operations, public works, just a note, the transition report as part of that transition to the full police responsibility was required by August 31st of this year. So staff provided that transition report. And, over the coming months, we will have an additional report coming forward with respect on whether there is interest in opting in or opting in the program with respect to the township portion. That shall be coming in months. Environmental Communication Go 2 project coming along. I would say that Today was the final timing with respect to phase one for the underground infrastructure, so, you know, looking over the next week or so, to be transitioning into phase two, which is Stanley Road west. Just a note, we had one bacterial hit on the carbon distribution system of total polyforms. Staff followed the protocols recommended by Health Unit and Ministry of Environment for Conservation of Parks. And the typical response to that is to collect resamples, and the resamples were collected, returned all clear, so that that adverse report is complete. Operation of municipal drain. So if you recall back, we advised council of the culvert issue on Maysville Road. As it turns out, that was actually forms a portion of the Black Creek municipal drain. So we had consultants here Galloway in. So the piping material is now being received, and this week's staff will be working on replacing those two culverts to get the road back to the bed. As fire department, just a couple of items with respect to fire prevention. The fire department visited both camps in Carter and Johnstown. We also attended Vietnam's 165th anniversary celebration. And the county fire prevention committee is in the process of planning for this year to fire prevention activities. Just a note coming up, the paramedic boot camp is scheduled for October 12th. It sort of takes the airways in the fire station #1. That's always an interesting day of activity in and around the village. And just a note that field officer Jeff Warren, the Office of the Fire Marshal and Emergency Management, today regarding program. Those are just a few highlights. Additional questions?
All right. So does anyone have any, Chris, I'll start with you. Any questions for Steve?
Well, just, one of us just stole my thunder. I was gonna say, we all often stand up here and we thank staff for the various things that they did. It's good to see that we have staff appreciation event for them, but, I didn't need to be invited, but that's okay. Too bad. No, I'm glad we do that building for the staff. I think that's good. Glad we did that. I was approached, changing topics now. Somebody was talking to me a bit about tree management policy, and I know it's a bit of an issue. We're talking about a tree canopy aspect in the development committee, but do we have a maintenance plan with regards to forest fire prevention in the township owned lands? I guess was a question I was asked, and it was a question that I never thought about before, right? But I know it just triggered my mind when we talked about the SMC tree assessment. They're assessing for trees that are dying, not for hazards, I would assume, right?
Through the mayor, the SMC assessment is illegal trees that may be hazardous from we'll call it from a decaying standpoint, falling limbs.
No, I don't remember that question. It was just more of I was just trying to figure out that's what I was looking for. So and the other thing I want to say is again, thanks to staff. I know that the Spencerville Fair has been looking for volunteers, and they're certainly probably very glad to have the support of staff helping up clean up during and after the event at Spencerville Fair. So thanks a lot for working with them on that. Appreciate it.
No, I have nothing, well done, Mr. CEO.
Through the mayor, I'd just like to suggest that next year, the staff appreciation, perhaps council could cook and serve.
I think that'd be fantastic if you could.
Otherwise, no.
That's,
That's
Councilor,
Staff may have to think about it.
that's Councilor Martell's way of saying you want some free hot dogs and he'll get them by half the cook.
All right. I echo many of the comments that are here. It's very obvious that all departments are very busy and continuing to run the corporation in a fantastic manner. And certainly I think we're all thankful for the hard work that they do, and great update as always to the CAO. No further comments. I will call the question on the CAO's report as presented then. All in favor? Yes. Thank you, CAO. So, council inquiries, notices of motion. Does anyone have any inquiries or notices of motion?
I do, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
We hosted the bass tournament, big fuel bass tournament on Friday or on Saturday. It was well attended, 52 boats. As far as spectators, a little down, but first time we can twitch a few things. I think we can make it better. I can't say enough about our staff, how they had it set up. The committee of the tournament thought it was excellent. We had people on the number 2 highway for safety. We had Mr. Spencer and Hoppy parking vehicles up at the arena. Everything was well done. We have competition. We were told that it'd be between us and Morrisburg next year. But the committee really like what we did, so I think we stand a real good chance, and I can't say enough that it'll probably be bigger and better next year to get it. So again, thank your staff and yourself. Well done. Thank you so much. And it was great to see the 52 boats out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. So very nice. Thank you, and thank you for all the staff for helping us. It's a good part.
Does anyone actually have an inquiry or just a motion?
That's okay.
All right. I was actually gonna give you the time. Give you the time during the mayor's report. It's okay.
No, that's. Gonna do it before you.
All right, can you bring forward the item 15, the mayor's report?
Well, are you not gonna say it?
No, after you have to put it on the table first.
Oh. Is it short or long?
It's somewhat,
Move
I haven't
by,
had one in a long time. So.
moved by myself and second by Councilor Ward for Mr. Council Aziz, the mayor's report as presented.
And I will do my best to be as brief as possible. So, following up, so I went to AMO in London, last weekend or the weekend before, did 4 delegations with United Counties, from long-term care to mental health to MTO EDR routes. I forget what the last one was, paramedic funding. And then we did, I did 2 with township specific ones, with one with the parliamentary assistant for energy, who is MPP Sarrazin, which surprisingly enough is actually, there's a 1 in 400 chance that this could happen, but he is the elected official from Prescott, Russell, and Glengarry, who happens to be, Francis Druin came for the announcement. He's the MP, so the federal side, and MPP Sarrazin is the exact same riding, and is the provincial parliamentary assistant for energy, and it's the same riding. So the MPP is who we made our announcement to with, or our delegation to, and he was very familiar with the Wilsons who were at the event. Certainly very supportive of everything that we asked for, and certainly a strong supporter of trying to help us with gas, as well was MPP Trevor Jones, who was the parliamentary assistant to, I believe it's Lisa Thompson for Minister of Agriculture. So excellent delegations there. Also had the opportunity to meet with Education Minister Stephen Lecce as well, where we discussed our two local rural schools, and I expressed to him, you know, that those schools need to stay open and remain viable. The province has said that there will be no rural school closures under their watch, but I wanted to make sure that the minister knew that we were a growing area, that we were experiencing 7, almost 8% growth and a lot of pressures in those schools, and make sure that we just stayed on point with him. I also had the opportunity to meet with Minister Graydon Smith, who was the MNR minister. Had a great conversation with him, thanked him for the considerable amount of funding they gave us for tree removal and for tree canopy. So he's a fantastic guy. I think he was, when they did the ministers forum, he was by far the loudest. He was 3 times louder. The entire place clapped for Graydon. He's very, very well liked, and it's like you've known him for 100 years when you're done talking to him. He's a great guy. Wednesday, I think all members of council were present with down at the waterfront for the launch of Edwardswood Cardinals' first accessible play structure. Many thanks to our friends at Giant Tiger for you know, supporting such a great project, as well to our recreation staff for getting that installed. It's loved. I think everybody loves that project. What came out of it in my discussions with Giant Tiger that day is they're already looking for the next project. So you know, I challenge staff, I guess, to come up with a way in which to work with Giant Tiger. They certainly want to continue being, whether it's lane ropes or play structures or whatever the next thing is, they want to work and continue to be great community partners. So let's get on that as quick as we can. One thing that I missed through the province through AMO was when I was there, when the Premier spoke, he announced that there's going to be $120 million available for our housing accelerator fund for, that's the rural portion, the rural and northern portion of it. It's a much bigger number. It's over $1 billion for much like the federal program, the HAF program. I think council did an excellent job making sure, and staff making sure, that we had that document on the shelf, that we hurried and felt the urgency to get that application done, because I think that document now is going to be very valuable in setting those targets for the province as well. So not only will we be able to meet those goals on the federal level, but we'll be able to meet them on the provincial level, and we'll be able to get funding for infrastructure in respect from the province and from the feds if we meet those targets that we set. So great work to everyone in getting that done. Thursday, the CAO, the deputy mayor, myself, we joined Rihanna Isles from HFI Pyrotechnics, the new owners, CL, and over 120 HFI employees for lunch. And we got to celebrate HFI being 150 years old. And as I learned, it's now called HFI 2.0. And it was fantastic to be involved and to be invited for that event. It was well organized, and I think you had to go to the barbecue that day, but
Good food.
but the food was fantastic as well. It
Oh,
was excellent. But it's nice to see. So HFI gave every single one of their employees a shirt for the event, and then they surprised them all on the day with a jacket with their name on their jackets as well. So well done to HFI. We're lucky to have such a fantastic employer right here in Edwardswood Cardinal. Congratulations to our neighbors to the west in Prescott for Friday, for such a fantastically organized event, bringing so many people to our area to see the Stanley Cup. It was unbelievable how many folks were there. I know that the last number that I heard was well over 3,000. And that's, you know, to be able to pull it off in such a small town with the work that they did, it's just fantastic. And last I'll say is to Ben Hutt. You know, I think in my lifetime, that's the only person locally that I remember winning a Stanley Cup anyways. And for a young guy like him to be willing to spend several of his 24 hours with the cup, with the residents of South Grenville and in Eastern Ontario, was such a classy act on Mr. Hutton's, you know, on behalf of Mr. Hutton. It's just fantastic that he would do that. So awesome. I want to say thank you to township staff for Saturday. I'll echo the deputy mayor. You know, Mike with you and Hoppy and all the other guys, they genuinely seemed excited about helping. Anybody that I saw down there, you know, was you know, very excited about about being involved in the event. I know it was probably boring through the day, but the weigh in and the launch were fantastic. It was really cool to see the second ball diamond so organized well, and we certainly know that we can park 52 vehicles up in that parking area now. So that's awesome. I think I would be wrong though in not saying to this guy beside me here who worked his absolute butt off. I know since 4 years ago, I think I heard about the Renegade series. We got to get a bass tournament. We got to get a bass tournament. And if there's one thing that I will always say about this guy beside me, he's a bulldog and he doesn't take no for an answer. That whole thing happened. You know, it's great that staff supported it and they helped out with it and stuff, but it wouldn't have happened if he didn't push as hard as he did. So it's well done to you. And I have to say that I've never seen a 7.5 pound bass in my life. It scares me more than a muskie does. It is a monster. The bass, they caught 7.5 pound bass, 22 1/3 pounds for 4 fish. Won that bass fishing tournament. I mean, good 4 fish for us would be 8 pounds, Steve, if we went out. So those, they are pros. They are fantastic. It was crazy to see. To Mike and the rec staff, you know, and I don't know, I know you'll have a wrap up on camps and pools and that sort of thing. I have nothing but positive things. I have not heard one negative thing about our aquatics programs this year. I have only heard positive things. It's weird to, as a council member, to not have people coming in complaining about things. It's, you know, just people coming and complimenting all the time. And, you know, the day camps and the aquatics programs for the lifeguards, you know, the day camp counselors, just everything has been absolutely fantastic. So on behalf of all the group up here, to you and all the staff, you know, relay it back to all the kids involved and all the senior staff. Fantastic job again, just so well done.
Excursions.
What's that?
Excursions as well, I said.
Oh, yeah, I missed the excursions, but thank you for that as well. Yeah. You know, I have to put a plug in for the festival committee and Labor Day next weekend. There's a ton of events being run at the Cardinal Waterfront. I hope you know, to see everybody out. It looks like an absolute full you know, full weekend put on by the festival committee, and I know I can say on behalf of council again that we're all excited to support such a vibrant and busy weekend at the waterfront. And I think that's it. Any questions on it? Anyone have any questions?
As long as you have no school closure thing in writing.
I can, yeah. It's already, it's in writing already, but it's the second time that I've gotten it. But I think anytime you have the opportunity to engage one of those ministers, Joe, and be able to put them to the test in those types of questions, I think you have to take that opportunity. You don't get the opportunity often, and it's nice to smile and get a picture with them, but at the same time, you have to put a plug in, and I'm willing to do it every single opportunity I get. So, yeah. Okay, so been moved and seconded then that the council receives mayor's report as presented. No questions for me there. Then all in favor, of course. Sorry, I put so.
No, good. No.
And then question period, we have nobody online, correct? Deputy Clerk? No. So then we need to move into closed session. We'll take a 5-minute break after we move into closed session, but if Councilor Ward, if you can bring the closed session forward, I appreciate it.
Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Evanpie, that municipal council proceeds into closed session at 8:05 PM. In order to address a matter pertaining to section 239(2)(c), acquisition or disposition of land by a municipality or a local board, specifically industrial parkland, and minutes of closed session dated June 26, 2023. And B, section 239(2)(i), a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to a municipality or local board, which if disclosed could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organization, specifically Purple Farm Genetics.
Yes. All right, so we're moving into closed session at 8:05. All in favor? Yeah, in closed session, 5-minute recess.
That's what the thing is.
Yeah, I did see that. I just said hey days. Something to say, something that either. Oh, is there seats on? Oh, there is. Oh, okay, well, that's.
But I want to get some straw or something back for sure, do it with that.
So I got those done. You
Yeah, I saw that, good,
The
yeah.
price was,
Yeah.
it was good.
That's good. I asked them if I'm making some, you know.
No.
They said no, it's we're gonna put it through. It's like, well, I ordered 40 months down there. Okay. Well, at the end, after that, we can let it, I go with the. Down.
Okay, moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, that the closed session meeting of municipal council does now adjourn. And the open meeting does now resume at 9:05 PM.
Are we still in open?
We're in open now, yes.
Before we adjourn, I have an announcement.
Okay, we are in open now, so I'll call the question, all in favor, back into open. Okay, proceed, Mr. Ward.
Okay, and moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, that municipal council receives and approves the closed session minutes dated June 26, 2023.
And we reviewed minutes and we approved them, so I will call the question in regard to minutes, all in favor? And that's all you have, Chris?
That is all I got.
Okay, so then I look for the deputy clerk, so I report out. Correct? Okay, so reporting out that council met to in closed session under section 239 2C. We discussed and looked at minutes, closed session minutes, June 26th. We also gave direction regarding to the CAO in regard to the disbursement of industrial parkland. And we also met under section 239 2I, a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which if disclosed could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere specifically or significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group of persons. And that was specifically in terms with Purple Farm Genetics. In regard to this, we gave direction to CAO as well. And that is my reporting. And so where are we on a procedure standpoint at this point then? Confirmation bylaw? Correct. All right, so that is Councilor Martin, confirmation bylaw.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Ronnie Smale, that a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters spelled with by resolution be now passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2023-45.
Okay, call the question on the confirmation bylaw, that ratifies all of our matters in closed session, everybody agrees, good. And Deputy Mayor, you had a point of information.
Yeah, before we leave, please, just got an email 7:35. Tom Hoover is the executor of the bait fuel bass tournament. Hi again, I know you're probably in a meeting right now, but good news, we will be coming back to Cardinal next year, August 24th, 2024. We'll talk this fall, early next year, about logistics and possible funding. Wow. Cheers, PS. I'm talking through my phone. Hopeful this makes sense.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it. Sounds good. Yeah.
Great news.
Nice to see. So,
All right, so with that great news, let's stay for another half hour. No. just Councilor Smale, you have adjourned.
Yes, do. Thank you. We're just moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Joe Martell, that municipal council does now adjourn at 9:10 PM.
Great, non-debatable motion. I'll call the question then. All in favor? We are adjourned.